Kuria, the Gatundu South Member of Parliament, was interviewed by Gerald Bitok on his show, TheTackle. And during that interview, Moses Kuria said something which caught my attention.
I was the first one to predict about the handshake before the handshake.
Wow.
If you go to my Facebook on the 22nd of February 2018, I wrote that Raila Odinga will decamp and work with Jubilee before Mudavadi, Kalonzo or Wetangula. And I said, mark this post. Yeah. It didn't take 2 weeks.
So unajua mtu yako?
Raila mtu yangu bana. Mimi najua yeye kabisa. Kalame Raila prediction. It's my prediction, so you cannot take me to court.
Nabii, okay.
Huwezi kulibaya
nabii
kwa
wa
chini.
siasa.
It's not the people
Another
of
prediction.
Raila Odinga and William Ruto will work together.
Yeah. When?
In 2022.
What makes you say so? They work together as an handshake or before the elections?
Before.
They work together before the elections?
Yes.
Not after the elections?
Na kuna watu wataachwa kwa mataa.
Why would he get into a coalition with Ruto and Ruto
Last bullet.
before elections?
Last bullet.
Last bullet or last year ukweli?
Last year ukweli sasa.
In last year mwisho ukweli?
In last year ukweli. And you know Baba hii kitu mnaita, yes, he's in opposition throughout his life. But look at, he's always where in the warm corner of the opposition. Sio ile iko na baridi. Sio ile iko na baridi. Government or where it's happening.
So you're predicting that Raila Odinga will work with William Ruto?
Yes. He has his hand at the pulse of the nation. So he knows that William Ruto has got unassailable lead. So the logical thing for Baba will say, create for me some space. Nimaliza hii maisha yangu hapa uzee wangu. Kusaidia tu kama rafiki yako, tulifanya kazi pamoja. I give you some wisdom. And I give you the ideas I had, you know. And for me, that's something I would encourage.
William Ruto and Raila Odinga are going to work before the 2022 elections.
Yes.
Not after elections, before 2022.
Before 2022. And that's for me something I'll actively cultivate.
You want us to make...
I'll make it happen.
You are the one who's negotiating the coalition.
I'll make it happen.
And I want to ask you guys a very simple question. Do you think Raila Odinga and William Samoei Ruto can work together? Do you think these two gentlemen can work together ahead of 2022 general election? In my considered opinion, personally, I believe these two gentlemen cannot work together. But in politics, you don't rule out anything and everything. Suppresses and suppresses are always the order of the day in politics. But I don't see these two gentlemen working together before the next general election. Maybe they can work together after the general election. But I don't want to rule out possibility of them working together. Because one thing I know for sure, Raila Odinga and William Samoei Ruto can only work together under two circumstances. The first circumstance is going to depend on the person President Uhuru Kenyatta is going to choose as his preferred presidential candidate. The person the president is going to endorse. And if that endorsement will not have the blessing of Raila Amolo Odinga, that's the only circumstance. Uhuru Kenyatta is well aware that a combination of the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto and Raila Odinga is lethal. So which means he's going to do everything possible within his powers to ensure that the person is going to choose for 2022, whether it's going to be Raila Odinga, whether it's going to be someone else, Raila Odinga's input will be there. Because without that, Raila Odinga is going to feel betrayed. And in politics, and not even politics alone, enemy of your enemy becomes your friend. So that choice can actually reconcile Ruto and Raila so that they work together. So that's the first circumstance. And it happened during the Moi era. Number two, the other circumstance they can work together is if Uhuru Kenyatta himself decides now to reconcile with the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. And because Raila Odinga is already working with him, then he is going to reconcile with Ruto, then appeal with the Raila Odinga to work with William Samoei Ruto, so that he can agree with them that one of them is going to be the presidential candidate and another one is going to be the prime minister. If he can do that, then these two gentlemen can actually work together. But from where I am, it's going to be very difficult for Raila and Ruto to work together. Again, for two reasons. Number one is their ambitions. The Deputy President William Samoei Ruto is currently the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, which means the only thing standing between Ruto and the presidency is the remainder of President Uhuru Kenyatta's term. So William Ruto is closer to the presidency than Raila Amolo Odinga. His handlers, his supporters, and his allies believe so well that Ruto should be the next president of the Republic of Kenya. On the other side, Raila Amolo Odinga believes that he has always won the presidency, but has never been sworn in. And 2022 is going to be his last bullet. So Raila Odinga would also want to be on the ballot. So we have these two gentlemen believing each one of them has the potential or chance of becoming the president. So who is going to live for the other? Ruto would want Raila to support him. Raila would want Ruto to support him. And basically, I don't see these gentlemen making that an agreement, reaching that an agreement. To an extent that now Raila Odinga agreeing to be the prime minister under William Ruto's presidency, or Ruto agreeing to be the prime minister, for example, under Raila Odinga's presidency. Because of those ambitions, I don't think so. Number two, there is their allies. Politics is always very interesting. And politics is about personal interest. They are allies of Raila Amolo Odinga, currently in this country, whose politics is going to be pegged on the moves by William Samoei Ruto. So basically, by attacking Ruto, their politics, they are going to gain. So if Raila Odinga is going to run for the presidency, it means they're also going to gain, whether Raila will lose or win. Again, on William Ruto's side, there are some of his allies who have made their name by attacking Raila Amolo Odinga. And apart from that, if William Ruto is going to be on the ballot against Raila Amolo Odinga, some of these guys will see an opportunity. And because politics is about interest, these allies, some of them will not allow Raila Amolo Odinga to come on board. I want to ask you a question. Ndindi Nyoro and Alice Wahome, do you think they can allow Raila Amolo Odinga to work with William Samoei Ruto? I don't think so. Because I'm even aware, even at the coast, there are certain people who would not allow Joho to work with William Samoei Ruto. If that were to happen, you'll see them wanatoka kipole. So these allies will also not allow that thing to happen. And the question is, what was Moses Kuria's objective with that statement? Because in politics, I've always stated severally that nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything is normally designed to achieve specific political objectives. What were the objectives which Moses Kuria wanted to achieve through that particular statement? 4 objectives. The first objective, I strongly believe that Moses Kuria was sending a strong message to President Uhuru Kenyatta and the deep state that William Ruto can as well work with Raila Amolo Odinga. That's the statement he was sending to them. So the deep state are going to be scared. And in fact, just like I said, there's something which cannot be allowed. If you match Ruto and Raila, they are going to win, unless the system denies them the chance. Raila and Uhuru, the way they are today, they can win anything they want. Look at how these guys have embarrassed and humiliated William Samoei Ruto. So they can do anything. So what Moses Kuria is telling these guys that, okay, it's fine now, you're not working with Raila Odinga. And from what we are hearing, you guys can betray him. But you can also work with him. So Moses Kuria is sending that message to the system and to President Uhuru Kenyatta. The second objective which Moses Kuria is trying to achieve, basically, is to create a wedge between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Anytime these guys talk about Ruto working with Raila Odinga, one thing they want to achieve is to try and create a wedge between Raila and Uhuru. It's that simple. And it has happened severally. There was a time, I remember, when there were stories that Uhuru and Raila had disagreed. During that time, there were a lot of sponsored stories, headlines in the newspapers, which were actually intended to create a wedge between Raila and Uhuru. Anything which can separate Raila and Uhuru is going to work to the advantage of William Samoei Ruto. Because as long as Uhuru is with Raila Odinga, people like Ndindi Nyoro, Moses Kuria are still in trouble. But if Raila were to separate or fall out with Uhuru, then it would be good news for them. They can go to central Kenya and tell people that, this is what we are telling you guys. The third objective, which I think they also wanted to achieve, was to try and divert the attention of Kenyans from the Building Bridges Initiative process. Because remember, last week they had been humiliated badly. Yesterday it was Super Tuesday. Assuming we didn't get the kind of results which came out, Kenyans would be talking today about Moses Kuria, about Ruto working with Raila Odinga. So they wanted to use that to divert attention from the BBI. The only thing which really confused them was the kind of outcomes. Like when now a county like Murang'a voted all of them. A county like Bomet now voting yes. A county like Kirinyaga voting yes. Took now all the attention from the statement which Moses Kuria uttered. Without that, it would have made the headline. And lastly, I'm also convinced that within William Ruto's camp, they are weighing the options. And one of the options is trying to venture into Nyanza, in the hope that assuming Raila Odinga is not going to run, that Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta are going to agree to another candidate, compromise candidate. Then Nyanza becomes now a fertile ground for them. So they've been told that for you to win Nyanza, you must just do one thing: stop attacking Raila Odinga. William Ruto's brother, David, has camped in Nyanza now for the 4 or 5 days, the 5th day. Elido Wallo just led a team, what they are calling grassroots networks, grassroots leaders from the entire Nyanza, to a meeting in Sugoi. So which means they're not trying to focus their attention to Luo Nyanza. But how can William Samoei Ruto come to Luo Nyanza peacefully, then get received, and then people listen to him? That can only happen if William Ruto and his brigades are not attacking Raila Amolo Odinga. It's that simple. So I want to believe that Moses Kuria has been advised by William Ruto's handlers that you need to start reminding the Luos that Raila can actually work with Ruto. And indeed, that statement excited so many people. Talk about Baba. So that the next time you go to Kisumu with Ruto, because I'm sure they're planning something, then you'll get the kind of reception which you guys deserve. I don't know what you think. Do you think Raila and Ruto can work together? I want a yes or no answer, especially before 2022. After 2022, personally, I believe they can work together. Because after 2022, Raila Odinga, in my view, if he doesn't become the president, is going to exit the political scene. If he becomes the president, for example, then William Ruto would also want to work with him, because Ruto is not known to work outside government. And if Ruto becomes the president, Raila Odinga, I'm sure Ruto even will reach out to him because of his age. I don't think Ruto would still want to fight Raila Odinga after 2022, assuming he becomes the president of the Republic of Kenya. But do you think they can work together before 2022 general election? I want to hear your thoughts. And please don't forget to just do a favor to this video. Just click thumbs up now. Just like it, because that's the only way you can also support this channel. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. I'll be in Nyakach tomorrow. Niwalete nini?